Welcome to Playa del Carmen, Mexico. Purpose of this video is to head out for a walk and check out the beach conditions. I thought I would be checking on the beach erosion today, but the stink and the smell of the seaweed was so bad it was hard to keep my breakfast down. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Playa del Carmen, Mexico. Just for context, we have a map here and I'll circle this section right here. This is the beach between 4th and 6th Street. There's supposed to be a lot of beach erosion here. I wanted to give you an update on this area. I'll also circle this section right here. This is Park Los Fundadores, and this area right here, this is the pier that takes you on the ferry over to Cozumel. Let's get going with the walk. Good morning from Playa del Carmen, Mexico. This is 4th Street and look at this. We have some seaweed going into the back of this big red truck. Now in the last 3 years when I see this big red truck, it usually means one of two things. They're picking up garbage or it's seaweed. As of February 1st, it's seaweed season. Now this is my 12th week of coming out here on the beach and giving you guys updates. Seaweed season is officially here. We are into the end now of February. There is that famous heart. We have been down here in the last 12 weeks. We've probably done 2 videos down here. And you look at that sand, I think they're pumping in new sand here. So this is gonna be short. Beach erosion, looks like they're pumping sand in, but the seaweed, I'm serious, it stinks. It's almost gag reflex. And the only conclusion I can come to is that this stuff has been sitting here for more than 48 hours. After 48 hours, this stuff stinks. Like I'm talking fishy, I'm talking bad eggs, and it makes me vomit almost. Like if I have too much and I'm too close to it, it is horrible. Here's my issue, that the new seaweed that comes in here, I'm going to show you some on the beach here. It's green. You know that's the new seaweed that's coming in. This stuff has been sitting here more than 48 hours because it's so dark. The darker the seaweed, the longer it has been sitting on the beach. After 48 hours, it's supposed to be toxic in the sense that don't touch it, don't let your kids play in it. It's going to cause respiratory issues. I get headaches. The other thing is the gnats and these little flies that are in it attack you. And they just start biting you and they're all over. So I don't know why they haven't picked it up. It's been there for 48 hours. That's 2 days. Now if you've got this big red truck and you've got all this machinery, I don't know why you're not picking this stuff up every day. Because you know after 2 days it's toxic. This stuff is horrible for you. And as I said, upper respiratory, watery eyes, the stink, it turns my stomach. And I'm at the point now where I almost don't want to have breakfast before I come down here. I don't want to eat anything for fear that I puke this stuff up. But look at that hotel right behind that tractor. Like, how can you be staying in there, sleeping and have the windows open at any time of day the last 2 or 3 days with this stink? And I'm going to just kind of give you a little bit of insight here when it comes to booking a place in Playa del Carmen. Maybe you don't want to be on the beach. Maybe you don't want to wake up to the smell. That's why a lot of people are not on the beach. Because you go back to 1st to 5th to 10th to 15th to 20th, the farther back you go, you're going to get more bang for your buck and possibly a nice big pool on the rooftop, and you're not going to have to come down here. Whereas if you're sitting in one of these rooms right here, you see that red awning to the right there, and you're sitting here on the beach, you don't want to be opening your windows to this 24/7. Like, I would be sick. And if you are sensitive to smells, fish, fishy, rotten eggs, if you're sensitive to that at all, personally, I would not be staying on the beach. Now you've got two big issues here I've been reporting on for the last, it's my 12th week, is the beach erosion. Now it's been obvious. Okay, this is my 12th video, 12th week. We're looking at whatever, 4 months here. The erosion has been noticeable from last year. I've shown you pictures from last year, this year, but you look at this sand here, this is new sand that's come in. Now, I'm hearing they get it from a place called Merida. Merida is north of here. It's called the White City. And a lot of concrete they make, they use this sand because it's a very light colored sand. It's almost kind of a white sand. And Merida is called the White City, and I'm hearing because they use this sand when they make their concrete, it all comes out, it's white, and as a result, their houses are all painted white also. So it's often called the White City, and it's, I hear, a 4-hour drive from Playa del Carmen. But $800 million has been set aside for the beaches in Quintana Roo here, the Riviera Maya, and I knew that the mayor has been out at this location 2 Thursdays ago, meeting with all levels of Mexican government to get money for, number one, to restore these beaches, and two, to conserve them so this beach erosion doesn't happen again. Now I'm convinced that I'm looking at this tractor as it picks this stuff up. I can smell that stuff. It's incredible, just the stink. I don't even want to be on the beach here today, but I've got to report on this stuff. But I'm getting to the point where I don't want to be on the beach. Now I can't understand why anybody else would be on the beach. We're going to walk down. I'm going to show you a little bit, but this stuff is in the water, but it's not the new seaweed that's smelly. It's this older stuff that's 2 days old, and they're not going to get all of it. Okay, they're going to fill this truck and they're going to leave a little bit of it there. Well, that's going to continue to stink. You either have to pick it all up and the smell goes away for a couple days until they bring it, the people working on the beach right now bring it back and they put it there in a big pile again until this thing comes back 2 or 3 days from now, this tractor, and picks it up. But then it's going to be stinking again. So it seems like from February 1st, probably till about September, October, it is officially seaweed sargassum season. Now I have read articles and they're saying it's going to be worse than normal this year. Last year it was not that bad. The government really had their act in order. They did a great job to minimize the seaweed on the beaches and the smell. 2 years ago, it was horrible. It was the worst I've ever seen it. Now they were reporting on all the news up and down the Atlantic coast. Florida had it bad. All the islands in the Caribbean, Mexico, it's just been brutal. So you see them cleaning it up here. I don't know how these guys can smell it. Like, a lot of these guys have stuff that goes over their noses, and I don't know if that's because of the smell or if it's because of the gnats and all the insects flying up around their eyes and their noses and stuff. But I just talked to this guy here on the left, and this is his job. This is what he does. And you can usually tell him with these white shirts. I don't know the guy, the far guy. It's a blue kind of gray shirt. I don't know him, but he's been helping. I've seen him out here the last few days. But this is old seaweed, and if it was the new seaweed they were taking away, it would not stink like this. And when I can smell the beach 100 meters before I get to the beach, that's a problem. And if you're staying on the beach, you can't have your windows open. So I don't know why they've let it go this long. And I don't think they're going to get it all today. And as a result, that stink is going to continue. What's my point? That if you've got a hotel on the beach in Playa between, I'm going to say, February 1st and October, be prepared to have a horrible smell coming in your windows, or you're going to have to close everything up and pop the AC on. And I think a lot of people are just going to the AC. The other thing is, you have to make sure if you're going out to one of these beach bars that it's at a place where they clean it up every morning. Now up around Mamitas, I've been up there, you know, in the last 12 weeks a number of times. They seem to really clean it up. They've got a bigger beach there. They seem to clean it up, and they can get access with these tractors and with these trucks. But there are certain places around 16th that they can't get these tractors in there. And there's actually certain places now around 16th where they can't get the tractor in there. They can't get the truck in there either to pick it up, even if they could. You know, it just stinks. So you've got to think about where, if you're going to get a place on the beach, where on the beach you're going to get it. There are certain parts of Playa del Carmen where you're not going to get a lot of the seaweed, and there's other places where it just seems like it gets in there, and it. But the main thing is they should be removing this stuff every day. It is probably about 8:30. Sunrise was around 7:20 a.m. this morning. So you've got all the people working on the beach, and they're scraping up. Like, there were only 2 people when I got here back in December on the beach. Now we're almost at the end of February, and how many people are running this show right here? You know, there's probably 6, 8 people here with the people but there's still 15 people behind me on the beach that are raking this stuff up. But even the stuff they're raking up is old, and I don't know why they weren't out the last couple days, because each morning the new stuff comes in, and I don't know why they're not cleaning it up. So I'd like to head out onto the beach, but it stinks so bad, and that truck stinks, and like I said, it's just horrible. I don't really even want to have any breakfast before I come down here. Let's get to another point here. So I chatted with this guy for a while that you might want to consider getting a hotel either on 5th, 10th, or 15th. What you're going to do is you're going to pay less money. You're going to get a bigger place. You're going to get more bang for your buck. You're not going to have to put up with this stink and the smell of this seaweed fermenting here. And like I said, if you have a sensitive nose like I do, you don't want to be around here. The other thing is, all these restaurants along here, like, I don't think I'd want to come down here having a burger and fries and sit on the beach and it stinks like that. I don't think I could really eat the food. I wouldn't really want it. So all these restaurants is going to be tough. If you're walking the beach in the morning, going to be tough. Maybe you want to walk up on 5th, or you want to walk up on 10th or something like that. Beach erosion is an issue, but I think they know with the beach erosion, they are going to get this sand in from Merida, and I have slowly seen in the last 2 weeks, I'll say, that the beaches are getting fuller, thicker, bigger. So like I said, $800 million they are putting towards the whole beach restoration. And they also have some boats out in the water that's collecting all this seaweed and sargassum before it comes in here. They also have some barriers in place. They also have these sand whales and geotubes that are about maybe 200 meters offshore that really prevents the water from coming in and taking the sand away. I want to thank the guy that has had a number of comments in the comments section talking about how they're actually taking a lot of sand away when this bulldozer comes in. So they're trying to pick up the seaweed, but they're also taking a lot of sand with them. And that's actually, you know, creating this erosion on the beach. So I want to say, hey, it's a little bit longer today. I feel a little sick after this breakfast. Hopefully it doesn't come up. I want to say ciao for now. I will see you next week. Beach erosion is not getting worse, I don't think. Seaweed is getting worse. They're trying to manage it. And I'll just keep reporting on it because I love doing this, walking down on the beach at sunrise, but the stink today has been horrible. It is stinky. I'll see you next week.